Hi class, welcome to my backyard and the next chapter in our Odyssey journey. This right here is a big bamboo plant that is located in my backyard. I often find places in my yard or in my house that I find comforting to read and allow me kind of a peaceful, serene atmosphere as I enjoy a good book. And I recommend that you do the same thing. Build a fort, curl up in your bed, comfy up on the couch as you read or enjoy listening to me read through these books. All right, so we're going to be moving on to chapter 1. In the prologue, we learned about the gods and the goddesses. We got some background information on the Trojan War, and we learned that Odysseus just wants to get home, but he's made some gods angry, and they have decided that they are going to make this journey difficult for him. So that's kind of where we left off, and we're going to begin chapter 1. And chapter 1 is called Odysseus and Penelope. Picture a man sitting on the shore of a beautiful island. The sand is white, the water an endless sky or a brilliant blue. At his side is a beautiful goddess named Calypso. She loves him and wants him to stay with her forever on this island. Some men would be happy with this, but not this one. This man stares out onto the water. His heart is troubled and his mind is very far away. This man is Odysseus. He is dreaming of a land very far away, Ithaca. It is his home where his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus still live. He needs to find his way back to that place. He would do anything to be there again. Penelope sat on her balcony at her beautiful home back in Ithaca. She stared out into the distance. It was a dark night. A vast ocean separated her from her husband, Odysseus. He had been gone for many years, fighting in the Trojan War. Even though the war had been over for 10 years already, Odysseus still had not come home. Yet Penelope had hoped that he was alive. She knew her husband was a great, strong man. He would return one day. He simply had to. In the meantime, Penelope had troubles of her own. It was true. Odysseus had been gone for a very long time. Many people in Ithaca thought he might be dead and that Penelope should find a new husband. Her trouble started slowly. At first, just a couple suitors arrived. Soon, though, her husband's house was full of suitors. Now, suitors are people men that want to date and court her and then eventually marry her. So she has all of these guys showing up saying, "Hey, me, marry me." Soon, though, her husband's house was full of suitors. Each man wanted Penelope to become his wife. These suitors were the sons of Ithaca's finest men. They were educated, athletic, and clever. Each of them hoped that Penelope would choose him to be her husband. But Penelope decided that she could not yet move on. She would not choose another husband. Penelope loved Odysseus too much. And anyways, she had a feeling her husband was still alive. The suitors quickly grew impatient and nasty. While Penelope stayed in her room upstairs, the suitors lounged around all day throughout Odysseus's enormous house. They only went home late at night and returned early every morning. The men made themselves quite at home. They relaxed on fine couches and ordered the servants to bring them food and drink. But Penelope was clever too. She began to work on a big needlepoint project. She was making a great tapestry to hang on her wall in honor of her husband. It contained threads of fancy gold and silver, deep blue and fiery red. Penelope sent word to the suitors. She would choose one of them to marry, she told them, as soon as she had sewn her last stitch. All day she sewed. This pleased the suitors and brought her more time. But at night, she would sit by the candlelight and secretly undo all of the stitches. On this night, Penelope sat on the balcony, taking out the stitches that she had made that day. The winds that came off the ocean created a sad melody. She wept for Odysseus. She let her mind imagine what kind of beautiful tapestry she could make one day and not have to undo to honor her husband. So here we have Odysseus. He is trapped on Calypso's island, the goddess who has kind of kidnapped him. And then we have Penelope, who's at home really missing her husband, and we have all of these suitors in her house disrespecting her home, wanting to be her husband. So we have both sides of this romance. We have the husband and the wife who are separated and are greatly missing each other. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Please go to your reading response, fill out your questions and your answers for today. Don't forget to type in red. That's going to help me to find your answers quickly. Have a great day, and I will see you again for chapter 2.